let's start from the beginning. How did you arrive to the world of butoh?
Well, I can say the butoh arrived, came towards me. At that time, I actually stopped dancing, stopped doing what I did until then. I didn't want to dance anymore because I felt kind of bored from myself and from the dance I used to practice. Even though it was at that time under the title of creative dance, I felt that I'm kind of brainwashed. That from childhood, very early childhood, I was taught what dance is. And I was taught how should I and everybody should dance. And I realized that in this very moment, there's so many people moving, dancing, practicing, and doing these motions, these movements, these forms that are known as dance. And I didn't really find myself within it. I asked myself, but where am I in this dance? Who am I when I'm dancing? Where is the dancer here? Who is actually dancing? And I felt that whenever I start dancing, I just go into this strange phase which builds a strange structure, inner structure, from which the dance emerged, you say, and it was always from the same place, which I didn't see that the base of it has the right connection to my heart at all, or to whatever should be there. So I got very bored, and I saw that I'm always thinking about structure and forms. And when I stopped, I didn't dance for quite a long time, and then actually my mother, she told me that there is a Japanese group coming to Israel. She bought me a ticket, and this day actually changed my life. For the first time, I saw a butoh group. It was Juku, and it was their first performance in Israel. It was 1983, and I was so shocked. I couldn't speak for 1 month, and it was the first time I saw the proof or the answer to all kinds of thoughts and kind of abstract visions and strange ideas that I had between me and myself about what a dance should be. And actually I saw a few times in front of my inner eyes, I saw that there must be a different dance, but I didn't have words for it, and I thought I'm just, hallucinating, and I needed to see Juku in order to see my to see a reflection of my dreams, ideas, as vague as they were, just coming alive and true, so clearly, so beautifully. The first time I saw dancers standing with their back to the audience for such a long time without sort of not moving, but I could see, the spine so gently moving. It was so intimate, it was so talking. it was so breathing, it was so rejuvenating, and I will never forget this vision of the four dancers back, just, you know, watching me and talking to me. So I saw that, wow, there is such a thing. This is it. And I was very, very shocked, and I was even beyond happiness. It wasn't even happiness, it was just, I was just in this, I felt I'm embraced. And this day changed my life, and I just had this strange idea that if one day, and I had this vision to go to Japan, I had this dream at that time, even before I saw Sankajuku, I said, I remembered that when I was a child I had a book of, it is called the Noiko-san, the Girl from Japan. And since that time in my childhood, I had this dream that there must be such a planet, which is called Japan, you know. Of course later I understood there is a country like that, but I knew I should go there, and I had a dream that if I go there, maybe I stay and I will dance. I'll study butoh.
So how did your practice develop from there after that day? So you moved to Japan, and
I moved to Japan, and I went to as a traveler to Japan with 20 kilos on my back, and I had an idea to travel all over the far East, you know, to do this journey. And then I did only a bit, I just went to a few other countries, and I realized that I'm going back to Japan, and I didn't have any idea, because I didn't read any material, any information about butoh. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know anything. I just knew that there was a group, this Sankajuku group. I didn't even dream to go and study with them, and I guess I was carried. I was really carried. I was guided, because I just waited for somebody, I guess it was, to take me somewhere. And I really met in Tokyo, I met a lady who was very, her name is Noit Messon Sekine, and she simply, I met her in Tokyo, you know, occasionally, but it was written somewhere. And she took me, she said, "Oh, butoh, of course, I know Ono Kazuo." And I said, "Who is Ono Kazuo?" And she said, "Ono Kazuo is the spiritual father and the founder of butoh." And I said, "Oh, really? Okay, I'll go." And she literally took me and climbed the stairs to his studio in Yokohama, and he and Ono Kazuo and Yoshito Ono, his son, opened the door, and the door was opened. So that's how it started. Although, if you're talking about practice, you know, we are all dancers. You know, when I met Ono Kazuo and when I studied from him, he always talked about the fetus in the mother's womb, and this is a memory. This is a knowledge we all have in our cells, in our DNA, and we just actually need to recall this memory of, you know, of floating in the and dancing in the mother womb. And for him, this was the starting point for butoh dance. So, you know, our practice starts in the beginning there.
And what were the actual days of practice like with him in Yokohama?
Yeah, it's the night. We gathered 3 times a week. the evening time, and yeah, being with Kazu is was a huge privilege, and studying with him for me, just being near his energy was a perfect studies, and listening to him and seeing him when he's quiet. He was dancing all the time.
Mm.
And whatever he did, eating, being in silence, watching carefully, listening, dancing, walking, whatever he did was dance, because he was so concentrated in all what he did. He was so intensive and with full intention to even taking a little piece of cookie and eating it. He was into whatever he did.
Mm.
And I loved watching him.
Mm.
And of course he was, and still is, he will always be a great inspiration for me. I always remember what he said, and every day I understand more what he said, and I can hear his voice while saying it, while really sharing with us his understanding, his knowledge, his vision, his inner world, his very deep and wide world of imagination and belief. He was a believer.
Mm.
So I always study with him, I always carry him with me, and I always hear his voice, and I feel he's leading me.
Mm.
Always. I know he's leading me. Yeah. I never left him, actually. Never.
Are there a few specific things that you could name that you felt are really important lessons that you learned from him, that you still work with?
Yeah, I hear his voice, and I see his figure clearly. When you ask me, I just see him, raising his hands. He used to, like jump and run between the participants and just shout out loud, be free, and raise his hands to heaven, and raise his beautiful face and head, and just be free, like as if he's praying for us to go there, just to be there in the space he's in, and he's so clearly, So, it is really beyond words. And another thing, and also he used to say, Aishate, which means make love. For him, dancing butoh, being butoh, is simply making love, constantly, making this space for the ecstasy, for this natural ecstasy to melt in. So, and another thing I remember, and he said a beautiful thing, which is so very true also. He said that the dancer you are today is not the dancer you were yesterday, and is not the dancer you're going to be tomorrow. Which is like a very leading, you can say, how do you say, a leading stone, a stone like it's a direction to keep in mind and in the heart. He was, and butoh is based on improvisation and transforming yourself, so it's never the same. The idea of being new is not the idea of sitting as an artist and think, what should I do today that I have never done before? This is not, I don't think this is a good way to be as an artist. I think you should be honest and understand that the new is not about doing something you've never done before, but whatever you do, it just be fresh and new within it. That's how I understand his teaching, and that's how I understand the essence of creativity, anyway. The essence of being, actually.
Mm-hmm. I've heard you describe the state of butoh as a place. So how do you access that place as a dancer?
It's not only as a dancer, it's as a being.
Mm.
I mean, this place, or let's say it's a zone, it's a living area. It's like a habitat, you call it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a place to be in. It's not only when I practically dancing. It's a being. It's a constant being. So it means that to be a butoh artist is not only while you're dancing or thinking of I'm dancing on stage or I'm practicing now dance. It has to do with your constant being, and how am I creating it? It's well, first of all you have to feel that you are actually longing to be there, to be in a different space, in different area within your existence. And it's a very wide zone. It's a very wide zone in which you, maybe I can say, I maybe like a bird. I see things from above, and I can see 360 degrees. And it's a complex place which has never-ending layers of existence, of smell, of all the senses are very open, all the senses are fully alive. Your consciousness, your awareness is fully alive, and you just experience yourself from you watch yourself, you observe yourself as a witness.
Mm.
At the same time you can travel within all the bodies, because it's not only about the physical body. You can travel, you should, and you like it, you love it, just traveling, just having this inner journey. And at the same time, while you're 100% this inner traveler and this inner expander of the existence of the bodies, at the same time you are witnessing this whole inner dance from the outside, including you observing the space that surrounds you. It's not only about the inner spaces, it's also the inner spaces within the space that surrounds you as a dancer, as a being. And you can at the same time 100% the observer.
Mm.
So it's not that you're half here and half there, you're 100% here and 100% observing it from the outside, which is very freeing. It's a very freeing way of being.
Mm.
As well as when you dance, you should be there in these two layers of existence. Did I answer the questions in
Definitely.
any way? Okay.
Definitely. You mentioned that butoh is based on improvisation. So I'm curious, how do you, when you perform, how do you create your performances? Where do you begin? How much of a structure do you have on stage?
Yeah. When I know that I'm going to have a performance, so I I keep myself in a very, very quiet place. Quiet, it's not a place, it's an inner place, quiet space. And I just agree that many, many ideas and visions will come. And then I don't choose anything. But the strong visions keep coming and like calling me more. And then it's like, it's not me. I'm not there anymore. I mean, I can see the figure, I can see the new image coming. And many times she or he they are dressed already. And they are talking to me, they are showing me their dance. They are showing me what to be and how to dance. And many times it will be even with the background of stage design and the right light. And I just have to be the listener with all my senses, and I love it because then it's not about me anymore. So it's such a free feeling. And then I start to it's like dreaming. I dream a lot, daydreaming. It's something that can come to me while I really sleep, or just in between, before I go to sleep. I just direct my consciousness to these possible meetings. I keep everything open, and then they keep coming. And then I have to choose, because when artist is always choosing, you always have to choose and choose again and again. And when I go to stage, there is there is a choosing in each and every tiny moment, and it doesn't have to be conscious choosing. It can be many times something in between subconsciousness, consciousness, or maybe higher consciousness. But again, I have to be very quiet and to let the right part in me choose the right being for the right moment. So in this way, it's always improvisation. Yes, I will have the limitation of the stage size. I will know from what side of the stage I'm gonna enter and start dancing. I will tell the light technician what to do. I have a soundtrack, and I have the costume, which is for itself a whole world. Many times while I prefer to make the costumes for the dance by myself. So this is for itself a very, very special time. I see it when I sew I choose the fabric, when I just do the costume. It's really the time, it's really a very special time when I feel that the image, like with the hair or his nakedness, are really like thinking, yeah, going into this new house I'm building for it. And then only when the costume is really while doing the costume, I really have a special meeting there, like how do you say, a concrete meeting with the image who is going to dance. And this is very, very important for me, this process of making the costume. So I have the costume. I have it's very important for me where if I'm barefoot or I choose the shoes or whatever. If I dance with a flower, if I dance with I don't know, with whatever, yeah, with what I dance, and is what I put. If I put a chair in the space, each and every choice is very, very essential and directing me to 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 be more and more inspired. And I have a very, very deep contract with myself to never to close, to be fixed to any idea. So one moment before I go to stage, just when I'm just there and I hear the audience breathing and it's the darkness, this special time, this undescribable moment, then I just say to myself, Maya, you don't remember anything. And it's true, I don't. I just want to forget everything and just be like as if I'm just being born again, jumping to this fire, this unknown fire. It should be in the unknown area. This is a contract I keep.
Beautiful.